get a message. Hey everyone, good morning. I can see everybody is chit-chatting already in our chat box. Good morning, good morning, good morning. The host is running late this morning. I went to bed late last night because I was watching a movie, Fast and Furious Part 9. It was really a good movie, so I didn't get to bed until 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. But good morning, everyone. How's everyone doing? How's your weekend doing? I hope everyone is doing amazing. So here we are again on our morning show in answering questions with regards to travel updates. What's the latest updates to the Philippines? We can do some recap and all that. So welcome to our show this morning at the Eaton Squad. So how's everyone? I can see James is already saying need to ask questions, and we pretty much know what they're trying. We pretty much know the most frequent asked questions during live. But hello everyone. Good morning. How are you guys doing? James Adventures said, wait lang. James Adventure said, no need to ask question. I already know the answer to. No, you can't come to the Philippines yet. He already gave everybody a heads up on that. Thanks so much for that, James. Hello, Matthew J. I don't want to come right now. I want to come in January. Hopefully by that time we are open. I just retired and met a beautiful woman in Cebu and want to move there. Good choice, Cebu City. I can't get retirement visas though because you have to be 50. Yes, you have to be 15. You have to apply it here in the Philippines. They don't offer it yet applying abroad. Good morning, Eaton Squad. Hey, brother. No, not brother Mike. Pops Mike. I said brother again. Hi, Matthew J. Glad to see you. You think borders will open by January? Hopefully. We're still thinking around December. That would be great around December. I have a good feeling. Good morning or evening, everyone. I'm hoping before Christmas. Yep, we hope before Christmas. True, that would be even better. Yep. Good morning, Mom. Hi, single moms America. Good morning and welcome to the show. Morning, Mom. Hello, Sims. Morning. Pwede po bang magtanong, isa lang po ba ang Health Pass and ECIF sa Dash Labs po? May nagsabi din sa akin na ECIF is different from One Health Pass. Meron ding nagsabi na they are one, but I believe they are different. So, ano po yung sa Dash Labs? Saan po ang lapag nyo, Michael? I'm on day 9 of quarantine and just wondering if anyone has been checked on during the final 4 days at home. Usually they won't. It's like I've seen a lot of travelers that came home after the 10-day quarantine. They went straight home. They met with their family, supposed to be, if they are really strict, from your 10-day quarantine hotel, you go straight home and isolate yourself for another 4 days, and they should check that. But that's not what's going on at the moment. I don't think they even bother to check because, like I said, I have seen several vlogs that when they got home after the 10 days quarantine, they get acquainted with their families right away. So he's laughing when I said brother Mike. Good morning, Eaton Squad. Watching here in Tagum City. I'm in isolation. I got the virus, but I'm okay now. Thanks God. Oh, Gemma. So sorry to hear that, but I'm glad you're doing well. I hope that your recovery is fast. It's like It's like COVID is no joke. Everybody could get it. We just have to be very careful and follow safety health protocols. If others are not following it, we adjust and we avoid those type of people. So I hope everything goes well with you, Gemma. I'm praying for you that you will be better soon. When you open up, will I be able to travel with just my passport? That's really a good question, Steve, because that's what everybody was wondering too. If the Philippine borders are going to be open, can they just travel with just the passport like it used to? Two things are going to happen on that. So it's either they will just reinstate the visa upon arrival, or they will start requiring visas for foreigners visiting the Philippines for leisure travel. Lux to Manila, Philippine Airlines. Philippine Airlines, ECIF form. Wait, I will check their website just to be sure. I will check their website just to be sure that they still require ECIF. One second, Michael. This is for non-OFW, I believe. Is this the party? Yes, I think One Health Pass is the ECIF form for Philippine Airlines. That's what it says on their website. I think you're right. Salamat. Very welcome. Haha. No laughing at Pops. Oops, sorry. Morning, Eaton Squad. Hey, Grant Hill. Not the basketball player. Yeah, fighting so much. I have my foreigner waiting for me. Is he at home? So you're in Tagum City. Tagum City is like an hour away from Davao, going up north. I've been to Tagum and they have a very nice place over there. So Gemma, is your husband home and you're isolated right now because of COVID? So there's really not much happening in the travel updates to the Philippines, but they have released the green, yellow, and red countries, the most updated one. That will start on September 19th until September the 30th. Some on September the 19th. So I hope we are clear on that. Like I said, the previous list of red, yellow, and green is still in effect until September 18th. The updated list for green, yellow, and red will start on September 19th. Hi, good morning. I am from Belgium. I want to go to Davao City to my fiance. Can I come yet or not? Hello, Rudy. Good morning from Belgium.
Beyonce, no.
Unfortunately, for fiancés and boyfriends, you guys belong to the foreign tourist category, which is suspended until further notice. So, unfortunately, you can't come yet, Rudy. Good morning from Texas. Hey, Jay Jimenez. Good morning. Do you think the Philippines will open this year? We hope so. I really hope they will open up in December. Still quarantine for 10 days unless you get vaccinated in the Philippines. Yes, regardless of your vaccination status, you have to quarantine for 10 days unless you are coming from the green list country, or you were inoculated, or you got your vaccination in the Philippines. Then you will only have to undergo 7 days. Thank you. You're welcome, Rudy. So, like I said, the new list or the updated list of green, yellow, and red country has been released. That will start tomorrow until the 30th of this month. So, if you're coming from the green lane, there's actually 52 countries in the green lane now. Used to be, it was down around 20s. Now it's up to 52 again. If you're coming from the green lane, then you will only undergo 7 days quarantine. But if not, it's going to be 10 days. I would quarantine for a month if it meant I could come. Yes, it's like I've received that from a lot of my subscribers that they are willing to go through the quarantine as long as they can enter the Philippines. Last question. If you're fully vaccinated, how many days quarantine in the Philippines? And are they allowed couple in one room? For fully vaccinated, coming from the yellow list countries, then it's 10 days, whether you are fully vaccinated or unvaccinated. And if you guys are traveling together from your country of origin until to the Philippines, you should stay in one room. If you have watched my recent video from the Department of Tourism Chief, Secretary Bernadette Puyat already said that hotels cannot impose such rule that couples traveling together arrived in the Philippines together will have to have a separate room. That's just too expensive. She already said that. They already warned hotels not to impose that because it's not it's not the perfect timing to be imposing that. So families traveling together should stay in one room. Hey Jeremy, good morning. Foreigners won't come if there is quarantine. Yep, that one too, especially to those, for example, if they are opening the borders for leisure travel, it defeats the purpose if you are still going through quarantine. Word leisure, you're coming here for vacation, not for quarantine. And there are some that goes on leisure travel only have 2 weeks off from work. So if you're gonna be spending the rest of that in quarantine, then no way. So they may have a leeway on that. We will not know until they open. Hi po. Hi Lisa. Good morning. Salamat po. God bless. Maraming salamat, Michael. Maybe a few days, 3 days or less, but not for 10 days. Yep, that's correct, Pops. Does United Airlines cancel its flights? It really depends. The airlines right now don't have control over it. It's actually the Philippine government has control over it because of the travel cap imposed. The travel cap has not been lifted yet in the Philippines. So 2,000 passengers per day. So those passengers will be divided among airlines that are still fully operational to the Philippines. So they will, you know, they will split the 2,000 among airlines. I will be uploading videos on which airline still flies to the Philippines. What's the best airline to uh use when flying to the Philippines during the pandemic. I agree, Mike. Most people won't. If you work and have to worry about leave, it won't work. People will use most of their annual leave in a hotel. True. It's like usually you guys only get 2 weeks off, and if they still impose a 10 days quarantine, 2 days, you will lose 2 days of that already for flights. Then the 10 days, so pretty much you went to the Philippines just to quarantine. It's not worth it. From Netherlands po, allowed po ba to enter the Philippines? Can you move that fan for you? To you? If you are one of the permitted travelers, Lisa, yes, you can enter the Philippines. When I say permitted travelers, these are Filipino citizens, former Filipino or balikbayan, dual citizens, foreign nationals with valid and existing visa. My wife said they start another 14 days quarantine in her province. Oh wow. So it's kind of like it's like sometimes I don't understand why they would have a different protocol to different LGUs. It should be centralized, that when they said you have to spend 10 days in Manila, or whether Manila or Cebu, whichever airport you land, if you spend 10 days already, then continue your 4 days for home quarantine. That should be universal. That should be implemented to each and every local government unit in the Philippines. But the problem is, there are some, just like here in Jensen, if you are a returning overseas Filipino, foreign national, returning resident, you will spend 10 days in Manila. When you get to Jensen, you will have to spend another 7 days. So it doesn't make sense to me, because the mandatory quarantine is 14 days, 10 days in either Manila or Cebu, and then 4 days home quarantine. But there are LGUs that will impose another 14 days. So it's kind of like, that's what happened to us. Our quarantine was over a month. So it doesn't make sense at all. I hope they will do a centralized quarantine protocol for everybody. That way, it's not too hassle for the traveler.
Luckily, when we came, we only had to do 3 days quarantine in Manila.
Well, when we came home last year, there was a huge but that time the cases in Manila is not really that high when we came home last year, but cases are not that high. It's like, I think COVID-19 in the Philippines were just starting that time when we came home. And they were not that strict, because before, what they do is swab test upon arrival. Then you stay at your hotel, wait for your result. And when your results are in, then you can go home. Then you will quarantine in your final destination. Unfortunately, our final destination was in General Santos City, and what they implement here was 21 days. So we had to quarantine for 21 days over here.
Well, the cases were building, because remember, they had the lockdown right after we flew out.
Yeah, so my wife said they start. Okay, that's one, isn't it? United will do ticket exchange for up to 1 year. That's good. Sorry, ECQ is what I meant to add. So they are under 14 more days. Oh, okay. Not quarantine, but ECQ. Okay, so they are on the strictest quarantine classification then. How much money do you think spent during a 28-day stay? In the Philippines, that will vary. Where are you going? Because if you're staying in Manila, that could get expensive, because food, any merchandise in Manila is a bit more expensive compared to province life. So, Ismael, that really depends where you're staying. Your expenses will vary from there. It's 7 days in so good also. So see, it's like you have already spent 10 days in either Manila or Cebu. Then you have to spend 7 days again in your final destination, Liam. It doesn't really make sense. It's like, I think that's too much quarantine, especially for a fully vaccinated. So I know being fully vaccinated does not guarantee you that you will not get infected. You can still get infected. You just don't get the worst side of it. But 17 days quarantine, I think is too much. It's like, yes, we earn dollars, but we work hard for them. And quarantining that long is no joke. It's expensive. Are they considering opening the foreign international tourists because they opened for domestic? Hopefully that's the start. They have opened the domestic, uh the local tourism already here in the Philippines. Hopefully it is a pilot of getting everything prepared. So we're hoping, since the local tourism has opened up, next would be the international tourism. I just finished 10 days in Manila, and when I get to Sugod, I will do 7 days more. Oh. Are you going to be staying in a hotel, Liam, or are they going to provide usually LGU will provide facility, but their facility is not that comfortable for foreigners, because ours over here in Jensen, they have it in a sports complex with different tents. So are you going to be staying in a hotel, Liam, when you get to So Good? Where is So Good? Is that So Good Leyte, or I'm not sure where is So Good. Hmm. You should know that by now, Vincent. Because if we have, I would have updated you already on that. It's a bed and breakfast, 1,000 pesos a day. So 7,000, 125, 130 bucks. But still 130, 120 130 bucks is, you could have spent that already with your family. You can buy a whole lechon for that amount already, as a celebration coming home. Yep, that's what I thought too. It's in Southern Leyte. My family, my father's side is from Tacloban, Leyte. So my grandma, like I said, my father's side family is from Tacloban City. So I am half Waray. Waray is the dialect in Leyte. So I am 50% Waray, 50% Cebuano or Blaan. So, but I don't know how to speak both of them. So it's, and right now over here, what's mind blowing right now over here, because election is coming up. My God, you could see the worst sides of politicians. They are now fighting. They have different propaganda on what they can do for the country. Just like these two senators who's running for presidency and vice presidency, and they were senators, and they would say that we would do this to the country that was not done with the current administration. It's funny when they say that, because they have been in the Senate for such a long time. They have, but and they have not done anything in the Senate. So how could you trust somebody who's been in the Senate for such a long time and has never done anything? How could he perform the duty as a president if being a senator, if he can't even do the duties and responsibilities as a senator? So I have a little problem with that. Sugod is Bisayan, but Tacloban is Waray. Oh, okay. That's good to know. So that community there are pure Bisaya then. So they're not Waray. Yeah, we're from Tacloban. So yeah, I got that blood of Waray. Oh, yesterday. Oh my God, yesterday. Pops Mike. We almost had a road rage because there was a van coming on the side. He was on the left side, I was on the right hand side lane. He was making a turn on the left hand side, I was making a turn on the right hand side. He could already see me coming, so I floor it so I can get in there, make my turn. And he was also flooring it, but he's got a brand new vehicle and all that. And he was so mad. He stopped. It's like, next time, watch watch your driving. Don't steal the road for me. It's like, what the hell? It's like, is the road named after you? And asshole, I had the right of way yesterday. You didn't. But the problem here in the Philippines, when it comes to driving, they don't know those rules. In the States, you have the right of way. This car has the right of way. Here in the Philippines, they don't do that. Whoever gets in has the right of way. And there are some people who gets pissed when you got in and they want in also. So he was being an ass. Do you think the international travel will be ready before or after election? There is international travel at the moment, but it's just limited to those permitted travelers to enter the Philippines. But if you're asking about international tourism, it's like, it's either they are going to use this as one of their propaganda to win in the election, that I promise, or they will open the country to, butter up their names to Filipino people, butter up their names to Filipino people so they get voted, or they will do promises that international borders will open. I will make sure the international borders are open when I get elected. So it's either of both. But I like the first one, that they would butter up their names to everybody so they get elected. So yeah, I will open the international tourism now. Don't forget me on the upcoming election type thing. America has the worst president and vice president in the world. Our government sucks too. Lots of laugh. I agree with you on that, Jeremy. Give him hell. Mike said, give him hell. Yeah, it's like he was not nice. Yes. Oh, thank you, Token. Thank you so much for that super sticker. IATF, DOT should state all travelers should be fully vaccinated to travel by air, sea, land, international, or domestic. So I think they will be imposing that because in the US, Kenzo, they are already imposing that. President Biden has already said everybody has to be vaccinated over there. Strategy nila yan, baka gagamitin nila sa election. Yes, true, Hazel. Alam mo naman dito sa atin, that's usually the scenario over here. That's usually the norms over here. When election is coming up, I think in every country, that's the norms. In every country, they would do everything to make their names good, and they will do everything to win in an election. So agree, tama ka po. Philippines don't want my dollars. Palau will get it. I don't need a visa. Filipina don't need to get a visa for 30-day stay. Palau should be a short trip also. So my cousins worked for Palau before. And yeah, but what he did, especially for first-time travelers, he went with his sister's mother-in-law because she's already a Palau resident. So there was no questions on that when they got in the country. So it's kind of like he was covered by his sister's mother-in-law. That is the problem right now when leaving the Philippines, going out of the country to meet your boyfriend or Even if you say you're just having a vacation, they will not leave you leave for some reason. I don't really know what's the problem with immigration officers, that they will not allow a Filipina to leave the country, especially for first time flyers. Which in my opinion, it's none of their business. If I can afford to go somewhere, if I can comply all the requirements to that particular country so I can go, that's none of your goddamn business to meddle with me, but they impose the rule, and not much of a choice but to follow that rule. And if they say no, you can't leave, then you can't leave. I will return to the US on November 4. Do you know if the rapid COVID test is acceptable to return to the US? I am American with United States passport. Liam, the CDC accepts negative RT-PCR test, antigen test. I think antigen test is the rapid test. They accept those, but it will depend on the airlines which one they accept, because there are airlines who accepts both. There are airlines who really wants an RT-PCR test. There are airlines that doesn't doesn't accept antigen tests. So you need to check with your airline what they accept. Tell that to the Australian government. Ha ha ha. I've also noticed Australia is also strict when it comes to their quarantine. And in Australia, you can't even, no, I think this is in Canada or wherever. There are countries that during quarantine, when you return to the country, you can't even pick your own hotel. They will pick the hotel and you pay. Just check December flight prices is 4 times higher. OMG. Which is normal, Kenzo, because it's the peak season. Usually, December flights are a lot more expensive compared to off-peak season tickets. Plus, the travel cap that adds to it. That's why. Hello, ma'am. Do I still need to get swab tested before I board PAL? No, Philippine Airlines doesn't require negative RT-PCR test to fly to the Philippines. They don't. They don't require that. Other airlines, they do. Delta, Korean Air, Cebu Pacific, no, Cathay Pacific. Airlines, foreign airlines, especially with layovers, they require negative RT-PCR test within 72 hours. But with Philippine Airlines, they don't have that rule. So no need for RT-PCR test. Right now, the best airline to fly with to the Philippines during COVID is Philippine Airlines. Because Philippine Airlines flies direct to the Philippines. There will be, just like that one incident with ANA Airlines. ANA Airlines usually stops over in Japan because that's a Japan airline, and that volcano erupted, so they got stranded in there for probably 2 days because they can't fly. So right now it's best to really get a direct flight to avoid that layovers, just in case on that layover country or that in transit country will all of a sudden cancel your flights to your final destination to the Philippines because something is up and all that. So if you can afford to fly Philippine Airlines at the moment going to the Philippines, I would recommend Philippine Airlines. I'm not an employee, or I don't get paid to promote Philippine Airlines. It's just the reality. That's what happened to us. We usually fly with Delta Airlines all the time, going back and forth to the States. But during COVID, Delta has lots of cancellations because Delta usually stops over in South Korea. Then South Korea closed, no in transit allowed, and all that. So we switched with Philippine Airlines. With Philippine Airlines, don't have direct flight where you're coming from. For example, from us, we come from Mississippi. So we have to fly from Mississippi all the way to LA to catch our flight with Philippine Airlines going to the Philippines. So if that's your case, I would pay that extra ticket to fly from my city going up to LA because it would save you a lot of time, hassle, and headache along the way if one of your flights gets canceled. Because that's what happened to one of our subscribers, Chris, if you know him, during our LDR discussion. His flight from Singapore going to Cebu got canceled, but his flight from the UK going to Singapore is not canceled. So that's what happened when you have in transit flights. Usually final destination flights gets canceled most of the time. So like I said, if you can afford Philippine Airlines, fly with Philippine Airlines right now. And they have more flights compared to other airlines. It is Philippine Airlines. I know Philippine Airlines accepts rapid test. And you can even get tested at the airport already, Liam. They have testing centers at the airport that would give results in an hour. So that usually costs 700 for rapid test. Make sure,
Pesos.
yeah, pesos, not dollars. Make sure to check on their website because they have the list of uh testing centers in the ano. Thanks, Addy. You're welcome, Wayne. Been watching Build program with all the infrastructure going on there. Hope it doesn't westernize the Philippines. It's the Build program is actually good because there are roads that are now open to lessen the travel hour from point A to point B. That's actually good. So hopefully it doesn't get westernized though. It's I think we are still far from that status. That is what I did. Houston, Texas to LA to Manila to Tacloban. And the same when I returned. Thank you so much. Yup, it's like if it's not the pandemic, we will fly with Delta. We usually fly with Delta because I like the service of Delta. But with the pandemic right now, I would fly with Philippine Airlines. Australia hotels you pay no choice. Yes, I've heard that Grant that they it's like the Australian government has already set up the protocols for returning Australians to Australia. Uh, they have this hotel that they choose the hotel for you. You don't get to choose the hotel for yourself, and you have to pay. I got my flight with Philippine Airlines March 1, 2020. When I got to the airport, they told me they cannot guarantee a return, so I decided to wait. Have you heard or they giving anyone the money back? You can apply for the refund. What others is doing, because usually it takes a while when you file it direct to the airline. What others have been doing is they dispute it on their card that they use in purchasing the ticket. So it's going to be the bank working with Philippine Airlines already to get your refund. So mm, 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 mm. So like I said, right now here on the news, all you see in the news in the Philippines are politicians banging her heads to each other, destroying, ruining this particular, it's you can really tell it's election time in the Philippines because they are now doing that. So it's sad that our own politicians who are supposed to be working as a team to rebuild this country from this pandemic but they are the ones fighting at each other, hungry for power, hungry for power to get that position, national, local position in the Philippine government, because this is what, September. Our uh our election is in May. I have already registered. So our election is in May. The last, I think they will file their candidacy is December. They will start filing in December, and I think January they will start campaigning. I don't know how is that going to work with campaign with the COVID-19. I hope that these people who impose quarantine, social distancing, get vaccinated, and all that stuff will follow those rules, those safety protocols when they start campaigning. So we shall see on that. Because if they are imposing this to Filipino people, especially those coming to the Philippines to visit their family, we go through long quarantines. We have to we have to follow certain safety protocols, and they don't. That's not good. I would be so pissed if they do that, because they should be the role model in imposing such rules. Pass that because they are politicians. Oh wow, Token, thank you so much for your generosity again. Maraming salamat. I know last week you went with your husband to get his 13A. Were you able to drive or did you have to fly? No, we just drove because Davao is just 3 hours away. So I already did the part 1 with the 13A. I will do the part 2 for 13A because there is a lot. Oh my God. The documents were unlimited. So I may have to do 3, 4 series of that to really walk you through, guys. If you want to do the 13A, it's like, to be honest, it's not as easy as I thought. It's not complicated, but it's a lot of work when it comes to documentation. Lady Farmer, hey, good morning. Glad to see you here on my show. I received my 9A visa. I am the parent of a Filipino child. I plan to return to Philippines again in May. I really pray this quarantine stuff is over by then. I really hope so too, Liam. It's like, I don't think the quarantine is ever going to go away, but at least they would have to lessen it to a more reasonable days, not 10 days. It's like, that's why we're not traveling right now, probably because we can't afford at the moment too. But if we can afford traveling again, I don't want quarantine. I really got bombed with our quarantine the last time, the 21 days. That was like when we went to Davao, it was scary because, oh my God, what if they will put us in quarantine? I don't want to be quarantined anymore. Still here in California. I hope you're able to see your wife and kids soon, James. Daughter is U.S. citizen. I Philippine national. What visa do I need to accompany her? If you're a Filipino national, you don't need a visa to enter the Philippines. All you need is your Philippine passport. They should do a 2-1B for us that they have only Filipino fiancés forever. I wish that the Philippine government would start doing fiancé visa like the US. They have fiancé visas for fiancés and boyfriends. I hope they would look into that. I did not see that in the Bureau of Immigration modernization law. So especially with our current situation right now, I know you guys could really use the fiancé visa. Hey, Boo, Lotus Talde, chill up. Hi, Sis Mercy. USA, accompany her to US. Oh, so you guys are coming from the Philippines going to the US. Is that correct, Lady Farmer? Are you a green card holder in the US or just accompanying her? Because if you are just accompanying her, you have to have a certain visa to enter the Philippines. It's
Indiana or the United States.
no, in the United States. Your daughter being a US citizen will not be your ticket to get into the country because they will still require you a particular visa to enter the US. Hey, Michael, you're very generous all the time, Michael. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your generosity, Michael.
1999.
Yes. I am doing the report of marriage now, so when I'm ready for my 13A, perhaps I can send me an email. Maybe you could help documents crazy. Sure, Michael. You can contact me in our Facebook page, Eaton Squad. When you're ready to do your 13A, I will walk you through it. I will give you I know I have already uploaded the video for that, for the step by step, but I will, if you guys need any assistance on how the documents is filed, how the documents is organized, what documents you need to submit to the Bureau of Immigration for 13A, hit me up on Facebook. I will walk you through, guys, on the process. No, she don't have a visa. Uh-oh. Yes, bo. Lovebirds are here. What type of visa? So, are you married to the father of your child? Her daughter is a US citizen, but she got no visa for the States. That's why I'm asking if they are married or not.
Well, it shouldn't make any difference of whether they're married or not. If they're married, then she has to have
CR1.
CR1 visa.
But if not, K1.
If not, then she needs a K1
Yep.
visa.
Like my husband said, if you are married to the father of your child, then you will have to apply for the CR1 visa. That would take a while to. Then, if you are not married, K1. But if you guys are not together anymore, tourist visa. But that right now is suspended until September the 30th. Thank you. Love you so much. Oh my God, the lovebirds are here. Hi, sis. Sorry, I forgot to greet you. How's you and you, Happy? We are doing good, sissy. That's all right. Any smugglers that can smuggle me in, send them my way. I'll pay for that, James. Go to the nearest Forest boxes or LBC boxes. We'll ship you out. You should fit. You should fit in the Balikbayan box. Make sure that you have everything you need in there.
And plenty of diapers.
He said plenty of diapers. That's funny. The father just died last April. Oh, so they are married. No, not married. He passed away recently. I'm so sorry to hear that, Lady Farmer. I would contact the U.S. Embassy in Manila and relate to them your situation so they can assist you better.
Because her daughter is a U.S. citizen.
Her daughter can petition her.
How old is her daughter?
How old is your daughter, lady? Because you should be, your daughter is your ticket to the States. I'm just not sure how the process works, but I think it's your daughter will have to like petition you. Hi, Addie. Hi, Jeff. Good evening. But family want to see my daughter in America. I understand that, but you can't just hop on the plane with your U.S. citizen daughter and you can't get in the country on that route.
Let me look that up because she's in a unique situation.
My husband is gonna look it up. And what's the status on local travel Manila to Davao? Manila to Davao. Davao requires negative RT-PCR test when you go to Davao from Manila. So they have flights right now, James. But like I said, if you're coming from Manila to Davao, they will require a negative RT-PCR test. 5 years old, but I don't think she can petition me. She's only 5 years old. Regardless of the age.
That's actually good.
Regardless of the age, lady. My husband is looking it up for you now, so hang tight. Still quarantine? With Davao, if you have quarantine already in Manila for 10 days, you will just have to continue the 4 days at home in Davao. Davao don't have like other LGUs that you have to spend 7 more days again to. Hey, Token. Hello. Good morning from the Philippines. How are you? Great to see you on the show. My fiance and 2 kids. So they are coming from Manila to Davao. If they have not been to any international flights, they shouldn't have quarantine going home to Davao. What I heard is I can do the multiple visa just like my aunt did it before, but she passed away, so I don't know. Yes, that the as far as I know on that situation, the quickest visa you can get is the tourist visa. But the tourist visa right now is suspended until the end of this month. Husband is still researching. Now you gotta hurry up. I have a researcher in the background to research those stuff. So I will let you know here shortly, lady, when he's done his. To petition for your parent, mother, or father to live in the States as green card holder, you must be a U.S. citizen and at least 21 years old. Oh, thanks for that, Bill. So we learned something new, that you have to be 21 years old. With the case of lady, it's like because the father died last April and the child is only 5 years old, but then the family of uh her partner wants to meet the child. So does she possess US passport also? Does she have a US passport already? G-Man, CR1 visa been waiting 2 years. Case was expedited August 6, 2021. Case is at the U.S. Embassy in Manila. Still no interview date. It's like that's the thing because they have been approving K1 visa as well, but the holdup on K1 visa is at the NVC National Visa Center because that's where it goes through before they forward it to the embassy. G-Man, yours is already at the embassy and just waiting for interview date. But with the current quarantine classifications in Manila at the moment, so they have this alert 1, alert 2, alert 3, alert level 4. I get confused with their alert level that they impose. So right now, the U.S. Embassy in Manila is on skeletal force. Some works from home. So they are limited on their workforce. But hopefully you guys will get an interview date soon. She got everything. U.S. passport, CRBA, soon recognition from Philippine government. She also got SS. So the child has pretty much complete document. It's just mama that, because I know you have to have a certain visa accompanying a minor traveler to the US. You can't enter the US without a certain visa. Right now, your best right now your option is for apply for a tourist visa to accompany your daughter. Because like Bill said, she can't petition you yet until she turns 21 years old. OMG, got pushed back for my 9A again. They wanted a picture of my wife's arrival stamp in the Philippines and a barangay signature by the chairman. My wife's arrival stamp. Where did your wife went to live and fish? Has she been outside the Philippines? They would ask that. Aside from the bio page of the Philippine passport, if she's been outside the country, they would also ask for the copy of the stamps. Barangay, she did. It's like when you get a barangay clearance, the barangay chairman should sign that paperwork. She did not get the barangay clearance as well to live and fish. I'm not very eager to visit USA. I just want to know what she need to visit her family there. I'm happily living here in our country. Yes, but because of her age, she can't be traveling all by herself. She needs to be accompanied by an adult until she can travel on her own. But for right now, your best bet is apply for a tourist visa because she will not be allowed to leave the country without an accompanying adult. But you can also leave the country going to the US if you don't possess the appropriate visa to enter the US. So that's the scenario of Lady Farmer. Good morning. What's the requirements from Manila to Osamis? Osamis. Which airline are you flying with, Dave? What airline? So I can check that. Yes, they told me that, but I don't know yet what type of tourist visa though. Tourist visa is a tourist visa. There's only two. It's like there's not really any types of tourist visa. There's only one, and that's a tourist visa. They don't have different kinds. So that's a B1 visa. Tourist visa is a B1 visa. Cebu Pacific. Let me check that for you, Dave. Cebu Pacific from Manila. So let me ask you this. You're traveling from Manila. Are you from the States? Are you coming from the States? From Manila because or you were just stranded in Manila for some reason. I'm going to look for
Okay, what she needs to apply for is the IR5 visa.
what's IR5.
It allows the parent or parents of a U.S. citizen to lawfully live and work in the United States.
I'm going to share with you the information, Dave. I will pull it up on the screen for Cebu Pacific. For Cebu Pacific, flying to Ozames. Cebu Pacific, flying to Ozames. The requirements is for guests flying to Zames, please accomplish these travel requirements. The province of Misamis Occidental requires guests to present the following documents to be accepted for flight. Negative RT-PCR test valid for 72 hours from release of result. Saliva RT-PCR test from Philippine Red Cross may be accepted. Government issued ID with photo and S-Pass registration. So those are the requirements, Dave, when you're flying with Cebu Pacific. So you're coming from Europe. So if you're coming from Europe, yeah, the negative are because the RT-PCR test, you should get the results. You should get the results after your quarantine is done. So that's what they are. That's what they require. I'm from Europe. So like I said, those the RT-PCR test, you should get that with your 10-day quarantine in Manila. I'm trying to ask you a question. Go ahead, Token. What's your question? Type in your question. Looking to the mm. Will immigration accept photocopy of my Philippine marriage certificate? What are you trying to apply, Token? Are you applying for a particular visa? Because with immigration offices here in the Philippines, they always ask for original documents. It's not that they are keeping the original documents, they just want to see the original documents and keep the photocopy of it. But with marriage certificate, just like with my husband's 9A, they actually took our PSA marriage certificate here and left us with the photocopy because we can request it at any time. So if you're applying for a particular visa with the Philippine immigration, then they would need the original copy for that. You're welcome, Davy. So I would like to take this opportunity to those who would have time tonight. That's 8 p.m. Philippine time. We have LDR discussion. So you don't have to be on an LDR to join the show. We actually have so much fun. We give tips, we share different sentiments, we we talk different topics when it comes to relationship and stuff. So it's fun, and we really hope that our show serves as an inspiration to everybody who's still hanging in there, and to those who are still waiting for the Philippine borders to open up and see the love of their life. So join us tonight if you got time. It's 8 o'clock Philippine time. In the evening, we always have a blast on that show. And I'm so thankful with my LDR family on that show because they always make the show successful every Sunday.
What she'll have to do is she'll have to contact the U.S. Embassy
Mm-hmm.
and explain to them what her situation is and exactly what she needs to do
Mm-hmm.
in order to be able to fly with her child. Because her child is only 5 years old, but is a U.S. citizen, she actually does have a legal and moral responsibility
Mm-hmm.
to travel with her child. I mean, that's one of the ways that a lot of the Mexican immigrants get into the States is they'll come over pregnant and have their child in the United States.
Yeah.
Well, once a child is born in the United States, it becomes an automatic U.S. citizen.
Yes.
And they can't separate the parent from the child.
Yeah, but those are Mexicans. You're talking about Philippines here.
Doesn't make any difference. They're foreign nationals.
Yeah, but the problem is she can't just leave with just the Philippine passport. She will not be allowed to leave.
What she may need, that's why I said she needs to contact the U.S. Embassy because she does. There's probably a special visa.
Yeah. There might be exemption to the rule because of your situation, lady farmer. So I would contact the I would contact the US Embassy in Manila and relate to them your situation, that your partner's family wants to meet you guys as child, and you have to accompany your child going to the US because she's only 5 years old. I have a 9A visa. They gave it to me from the Vancouver embassy. They accepted my photocopy here in Vancouver, but my original is in the mail. Oh, so you already have a 9A visa. Is this just something you have to show the immigration officer in Manila? Is that what you're trying to ask, Token? We both used to live in Japan. I went to the United States to work on my retirement, and she went to the Philippines to set up my arrival. I think the barangay staff signed it. Huh. It should be the barangay chairman, though. But yeah, if they ask for a copy of the stamps from her Philippine passport, you have to submit it. I'm not gonna use my daughter as a ticket to go to the US. I'm happy. I was like, it's not using your daughter as a ticket to the United States. I'm sorry if I put that way, but you have to have a certain visa to accompany your daughter to the States. They will not accept you if you don't have a visa. Like my husband said, contact the US Embassy in Manila, relate to them your situation. Because, like I said, they might have an exemption to your situation. The child's father died last April, and the family of her dad wants to meet her, and she's a US citizen. So they could. They can assist you what type of visa you will need to accompany your daughter in the States. But family insists want to visit them. So my question is, if my flight leaves before my marriage certificate shows up, can I go get with the photocopies? Well, if you already have the what do you call this? If you already have the 9A visa, the photocopy should work at the immigration officer and at the airport. Thank you for answering my question. You're welcome. You must also be at least 21 years old to support the IR5 visa for a parent. Oh,
Yeah, that's
okay.
what I was reading afterwards. That's why I said she needs to contact the U.S. Embassy and find out exactly what she needs to submit
Mm-hmm.
in order to get a visa to go to the United States.
Thank you for that, Bill. And token, I would call the airline, relate to the airline your situation, that your original marriage certificate is on the way to you, but it may not make it by the time you fly to the Philippines. Would they accept a photocopy? Because the first person, or the first step when you fly to the Philippines, are the airlines. They are going to be checking all the documents that you have. I would call the airline if they will accept the photocopy of your marriage certificate, just to be safe. That way we don't get surprises at the airport. But no, you only have photocopy, we want original. But to me, it doesn't make sense at all, because the document is there. Photocopy or original you can provide. So they just have to look at it. You got a 9A visa. So they probably don't know, but applying for the 9A visa, you are sending original documents for your marriage certificate. Duh, you know. Thank you for your help. You guys are great. You're very welcome, Token. Maraming salamat. My aunt accompanied a 6-year-old to US. Kid is US citizen also, but she died, so I can't ask what type. So, yep, your best bet on that, lady farmer, is contact the US Embassy in Manila to make sure what type of visa you need to apply in your situation. Yes, thank you. Good advice. You're welcome, Token. Yep, because airlines are the first to check your requirements when you fly. So it's better to coordinate with them ahead of time. That way you would know. Oh, you missed a call from Pops Mike. Going to the. Mm. Hang on, guys. I have a message. Yeah. Non-resident spouse. Jeremy, are you around? I would not apply for the ITN. I would go with the social security card since you guys are married already. I don't think the ITIN applies to her already. She would have to get the social security number. Hello, the Eaton squad. How are you from Greensboro, North Carolina? Hey, Monroe Smith. When does pre-LDR start? Ha ha ha. Oh my god. Here we are. Here we go again. LDR will be tonight. But yeah, it's like I'm happy for those who good one. Grant just seconded. Good one, Mike. Ha ha ha. Oh my god. The LDR addicts are here. No, but like I said, to those who can come to our LDR discussion tonight, join us. It's always fun. During that show, it's hosted by me and my husband, yours truly. We start at 8 o'clock at night in Philippine time. Sometimes we do get late. We apologize for that. It's Filipino time, but join us and chit chat with us when you get time, and we'll make sure you'll have a good experience during our show. Right now on this show, it's just me talking in your monitor, but during LDR, I would have 6, 7 people on the screen. We have a lot of co-hosts during our LDR. Talking to them. I have a lot of stuff to do today. I have a lot of videos to make today. Can Philippine come to us on tourist visa now? Hey, Howard. uh, Tourist visa application, I think it's still suspended until the end of this month, Howard. But hopefully they will not extend that anymore. Okay, thank you again. You're welcome, Lady Farmer. You're very welcome. No, I need a charger if you're done with your charging. Now can you tell them to be quiet over there? Yes, that's true. As I have been there at your channel during that time frame, your channel is awesome with a lot of information. Yeah, thank you so much, Monroe. Monroe is always on that show, and we always have fun. And yeah, it's fun. It's like I feel so at home when I'm with my LDR family, because LDR is very close to me because we are a product of LDR, me and my husband. So LDR will always have a special part of me, special part of my life. Majority of our relationship is LDR. So it will always have a special part. Good time to get seminar out of the way, or can this be done for USA visa? If you are a first time traveler going somewhere or going to the US, if you are a first time traveler going outside of the Philippines, you have to undergo the CFO seminar, or also called the pre-departure CFO certificate, or what we so called the CFO certificate. You have to have this before you're able to leave the country. I am not sure if you can do the seminar ahead of time, because you have to have wait because you have to have the visa approved already before you can undergo with the seminar. As far as I know, Howard. Can you please tell them to be quiet over there? Why are they so noisy? I heard water in the background. Do you guys have fish? Water? Where? What was the water? It's like my staff outside is very noisy. Does the CFO expire? It's a one-time thing for CFO. It's a one-time thing for CFO, so you don't have to repeat it again once the sticker is in your passport. I wish I can show you that, but that was from my old Philippine passport. Let me see if I can pull it up. Let me see if I can pull it up online.
Mark's like, I'm just cooking.
Yeah,
Said,
but
yeah, but she can hear you all the way in the bedroom.
so this is the CFO sticker that will be attached to every traveler from the Philippines going outside the Philippines for first timer. So you have to have the visa already, Howard, before they issue this. So to those who doesn't know what the CFO sticker looks like, this is how it looks like, and this will be attached in your passport. So that's a CFO sticker or certificate looks like. And they will also give you a certificate of compliance along with your what do you call this, sticker. I think now, because they do everything online, they give you the certificate instead of the sticker. The sticker will be given to you when you go to their office to do the seminar, and that will be granted. The ticket will be granted and will be attached to your passport. But since the pandemic, they do online seminars, and they will give you certificates instead. But that's how the CFO certificate or sticker looks like. Rather I go there or here, is there some items we can get out of the way while waiting for any visa? Deb?
There's always items that can get out of the way.
Like
Uh, who's asking?
Howard?
He can uh, he can start sending a little bit of cash over. He can draw up plans for while he's in the Philippines.
Huh? I mean, what he's trying to ask, if he can process some ahead of time until the visa or the tourist visa application resumes.
Or
Tourist visa for his asawa.
to come to the States?
Yes.
Yes.
Sorry, Howard, he's still asleep.
He can start getting her bank account built up so that she has enough money in her bank account to.
I think Mike said, correct me if I'm wrong, Mike, for show money for a tourist visa going to the States is 10G. Is that correct? Mike still around? Pops. Because I think that's what he's doing too. Start building up that bank account because they would need that. They call it show money. I think they said $10,000. In Philippine peso? No?
No, that's US dollars.
Oh, it's still dollars? So she has to open a dollar account.
Well, it can be in Philippine pesos, but it needs to be the equivalent of
$10,000.
Well, I'm not sure that it's quite 10,000, but
that's what I'm gonna. Was Mike? I don't really think Howard will have a problem building that. So, yes. So, yep. Mike said it's 10,000. The show money. You can start with that. Start gathering up. Oh my God. Start gathering up the requirements for a tourist visa while the application is still suspended. So what would I do ahead of time is gather up all the documents that she needs for a tourist visa. Either way, if you go, if the Philippine borders open, then you can fly here. But if not, she can fly there, whichever comes first. So what I do with hers is I would start gathering up all the paperwork on the application for a tourist visa to the US. That way when the that way when the US embassy opens up, all the documents are ready. So I would go to the US embassy website in the Philippines and get the exact requirements for it. And if you have a reliable source in YouTube that you can refer to for a tourist visa, do it. You can watch, but I would reaffirm it with the US Embassy website. That way you won't get the misinformation, you know? You know what I'm saying? Always check, always double check. Because there are some who would just say it incorrectly and you follow it, then you get screwed.
They have to show at least $266 for each day of their planned stay in the United States.
Oh wow, 266 bucks per day?
Per day.
Oh.
Minimum.
That's shit. If you're staying there for I will compute. If you're
Well, that's actually cheaper than what Mike was saying.
If it's staying there for 30 days, that's $8,000. No, it's not.
Yes, it is. Mike was saying it was 50,000.
Yeah, 10 grand. 50,000
or
pesos.
10 grand.
He said 10 grand. He's close to 10 grand.
Right.
So it's better to have more than enough than short. So I think that's one of the requirements. Forrest said you have to have
financial bank statement to prove that you have finances to stay in the United States of at least $266 for
Per day.
each day of your planned stay. Ties to your home country, family, job, contract, lease of property, deed, which proves that you will return.
Yep. It's like with tourist visa, you have to have some kind of, like, you own a property in the Philippines, you own a business in the Philippines, that you can't be outside of the Philippines for a very long time, because that would be detrimental to whatever you have left when you go for a vacation. That's usually who gets approved quicker, because they will show a strong ties to the Philippines, that they can't be outside of the Philippines for a long time. That's usually who gets approved quicker.
She has her business.
So for example, you own a property, you run a business, or you have a job. Those are examples of strong ties to the Philippines. He said the family or each child. Or each child? I think that per person. Who is flying, Howard? If you for a tourist, the visa for her, just her. And
well, she's probably wanting to bring her kids over too with her.
Oh, I think that's per person. 10,000 came from my lawyer, so there is no problems. What?
10,000 probably came from his lawyer, so that there's no problem. Like you said, it's better to have more than what you need in there than to be right on the line.
You don't want to be exact, or you don't want to come short. You want to be ahead. That way there's no problem with it. In time, not now.
Further than the $266.
Yeah. I think that's per person. Talking to the. Let me get these questions. Ouch. Yep, that's what I thought too. Ouch.
They make it really hard for Panays to come to the States.
That's the thing with tourists. I'm not discouraging anybody, but it's just the reality when it comes to tourist visa for Filipinos going to the States. They would they would ask a lot.
Because they're afraid what they're coming to the States for is to find a husband and so they can stay in the States.
You can't blame the US embassy also because that has happened. The system got abused. Yeah, they would grant tourist a visa to a particular Filipino, but won't come back anymore and stay illegal in the States and find a husband there, get married, and don't come back anymore to the Philippines like the original application for a tourist visa. So somehow you can't really blame the US for being so strict with that because they have been bombed and like I said, the system got abused. It's just not fair to those who really follow the rule for a tourist visa and gets punished by those irresponsible travelers who doesn't come back to the Philippines anymore on a tourist visa. You know, year 1991 to be immigrant, we have to have 150K each. I don't know now. Ouch, ouch. Whoa, that's what 20 years ago. It's way because the 20 years ago the living expenses is not that high yet. I think they are basing it to the current living expenses. Prices are high now. Merchandise, food, travel, gas, everything is high now. That's probably why they up the price as well. So 150K is that's 3 grand. That's for ano lady. How many days stay? How many is that a 3 months visa, 6 months visa? What was granted? So far, a Filipina to visit the USA, she needs 10K. Yes, for a tourist visa. That's what they require. At least.
And that's 10,000 US dollars.
US dollars, not in pesos. That's in US dollars. Yes, she does. So, oh, this is for immigrant. Being an immigrant in the US, you have to have applying. Oh, this is probably like moving into a new country, applying for immigrant visa. It's always like that because when we applied for the K1 visa, you have to be above the poverty line, US poverty line, huh? Not Philippines. You have to be above poverty line. Because if you are below the poverty line, you have to have a sponsor that could, you know, pick up the difference. Hey, Philip Lewis, the Eaton squad. Hello, glad to see you here on the show. 10 years before they processed, then we had to spend 150K each. Oh, that's for the fee. That's not even the 10,000 that we are talking about, Lady Farmer. That's the show money. That money has to be in the bank because they would ask for a copy of your bank statement, making sure you have enough money there that you can support yourself while you are on vacation in the States because they don't want you to be a public charge for the US government over there. That's why they make sure that you have the money to spend for a tourist visa in the States. Do you think the quarantine for the US will go to 7 days soon? If the US will be on the green list, that's a that would be 7 days. But until then, it's 10 days. Hopefully, there's some changes along the way, especially that we have received a bunch of, excuse me, especially that we have received a bunch of vaccines lately. In next month, we should receive about 30,000 vaccines. 30 million, I mean, not thousand. 30 million doses will come in next month. And this month, they have received probably, I'm not sure, I don't keep tally on the vaccines, but I know just this week they received a lot of vaccines from Pfizer, AstraZeneca. 3 months bank statements. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Pops. Hello, Eaton Squad. Good noon. Hey, Ellen. Good noon, Ellen. Welcome to the show. Glad to see you here. Talking to the... Mm, 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 mm. Our area in Manila, 80% vaccinated. I would expect that Manila area is up to that already, because majority of the vaccine is distributed along is distributed in the Manila area. And that's really good, Howard, that in Quezon City, I know your asawa is from Quezon City, and that's really good that Quezon City is now at 80% vaccinated. That's really good. Are you going to have discussion for LDR tonight? Of course. Yep, yep, yep. There's your pre-LDR, Pops Mike. Will babies be able to go to the mall soon? It really depends on quarantine classification of a particular area. Over here in our area, 18 years old and below and 65 years old above are not allowed to go out. Hope to be visiting Makati with her and my fiancé. Cool. In Lapu-Lapu, we are 52% vaccinated. That's only in Lapu-Lapu. That's really good. I know in Davao they are at 50% for first doses. I believe 50 or 80% on first doses. I'm not sure here in our area, General Santos. Officials here are quite slow. So there, I said it. So that's really good that different parts of the Philippines vaccination rollout is really quick and stuff. All I can say is sana all. It also happens here in General Santos City. Ha ha ha, he's laughing. See? Somehow, somewhere, somebody's gonna ask for that. But we are going to wrap the show up in 20 minutes. So if you guys still have questions with immigrations, travel updates, what's the latest requirements? I am processing this type of visa application. As long as I know the answer to it, I will answer as much as I can. So bring those questions on. We still have 20 more minutes, 22 minutes actually. Wrap this up. Get ready for tonight's show. What happened if you test positive during quarantine, especially if already fully vaxxed? Then you will have to be transferred to an isolation to get treated with COVID-19. If you guys watch Becoming Filipino vlog, he is fully vaccinated, or at least he got the first dose. I'm not sure which one, but he tested positive. He was placed on isolation. So like I said, if you tested positive during your quarantine, so 10 days quarantine, on the 7th day you got tested for COVID-19, on the ninth day your result comes in and it turns out positive, they will be picking you up from the hotel and transfer you to a facility for treatment, and you will spend another 14 days over there, unfortunately. And they will do retest and test until it comes out negative. So that's what's going to happen. Can you request to test early on? No, because if you're in a 10-day quarantine, your testing will be on the 7th day. If you really want to make sure, well, it's not really guaranteed. You can get tested before you fly. But usually COVID-19 symptoms doesn't show up on the later days, 3 4 5 days. So you might test negative during your flight, but if you caught it on the plane, it won't show up until fifth, sixth, seventh day. So still waiting on business visas. Still no word. Maybe soon, I hope. Hopefully soon. That's been how many months already, Howard? That's been how many months since you guys applied? Looking forward for tonight's discussion. Appreciate it as always with all your updates. We will see you then, Ellen. Hopefully one day we'll visit Davao or Jensen and we'll be able to meet you, Eaton family. Oh, that would be cool. Oh, I forgot to tell you guys. When we went to Davao last Tuesday, we met up with one of our subscribers. We had so much fun. That's Mercy. She goes by Chusera on YouTube. We met, we ate, we went to the Philippine Eagle Guard Sanctuary. We actually have a video on that, but I have not uploaded it yet. Hopefully you will enjoy that upload to those who haven't been to Davao, or it was a quick side trip in Davao because our main purpose in going to Davao is to process my husband's 13A visa. And I posted it that we will be in Davao this time, and Chusera, Sis Mercy, was able to meet us there, and we had so much fun. So I was like, I really look forward to meeting everybody one day, especially when I know this pandemic is not going to be over soon. We just have to learn how to live with it. But when traveling is back to normal again, maybe we could meet. And we look forward meeting you too, Ellen. 1 month, I think, but had deduced service. Reduced service. Okay. Yep. So on the business visa, because like I said, like I mentioned in our LDR, there was that one subscriber from Japan. he got approved with business visa to the Philippines. The Philippines loves new investors, you know? Mm, 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 mm. And thank you so much to those who participated in our poll in our community. I was asking what's the best which airlines do you prefer flying to the Philippines? So that's really good. Who is really making the decision for these guidelines? As what I understood, IATF, which is headed by Secretary Duque, he is the head of the Department of Health as well. So the doctors would, he's a doctor. So the doctors would discuss what's the current situation, where what's the percentage on the cases in the Philippines. They would discuss and they will formulate these guidelines, present it to the president, and if the president okays it and approves it, then it gets implemented. So just like with the tourism chief said, they wanted to open up the country for everybody. She's really been trying. I have to give her that. She's been pushing for both local and international tourism to open, but it's the doctors that's holding it up. No, the cases are still high, we can't open up. No, there's the new variant. No, we can't open up. It's like if you guys watch my recent video on local tourism now open, you can hear it from her over there. She's been trying. She really is. She's been trying for local and international tourism to open up because this is their department. This is their area, the Department of Tourism. And the Department of Tourism chief, she's been trying because she's always been part of their meeting with the IATF. And like she said, she's been trying and she's been even begging to have local and international tourism open. But like she said, it's because of the doctors they can't open up. So I would say it's the doctors and who are the head of the Department of Health. The head of the Department of Health and the head of the IATF is Secretary Duque. Okay, see you guys tonight. See you, Kenzo. See you, see you. Yet China is allowed in. Kind of disappointing considering it all started with them. True, I have the same opinion on that. I really am. It's like, you are kidding me, right? It's like, it really is. It's like, it's so bizarre, in my opinion. Hoping and praying for international tourists. Yep. But like Einstein once said, a fool will keep doing the same thing over and over again and expect a different result. Very true. It was like we all know this has been going on for over a year now, and they use the same protocols, the same guidelines. It's either they will prolong it or they will shorten it. But it's the same damn scenario or the same guidelines and stuff, but nothing has worked. Do you guys see many of the special investors residence visa 75K investment required? I am not so familiar with the SIRV visa on what is the requirements for that particular visa. SIRV. Let me check that real quick. SIRV visa. SIRV visa requirements. Special investors visa. How to get a bill. Who can apply for SIRV? An alien except for restricted nationals at least 21 years old of age who meet the qualifications and follows the implementing rules provided for the issue of an SIRV. The applicants and spouse and married children under 21 years old of age may also be issued the same visa. The applicants must not have been convicted of a crime involving moral turpitude, been afflicted with any loathsome, dangerous, or contagious disease, has not been institutionalized for any mental disorder or disability, and is willing and able to invest the amount of at least $75,000 in the Philippines. So you are right. 75K. Howard, you might want to look into this, the SIRV. Who can apply for I already. Oh, there's a lot of requirements. I wonder if you have to be in the Philippines. I don't think you have to be in the Philippines for this. You are investing. So, yep, you were right. $75. $75,000. See you tonight. Yep, see you guys all tonight for LDR Live. LDR, my 6 a.m. So goodbye. Oh my God, I did not know that early for Howard. Good night, Howard. See you tonight. It doesn't require a pension like yeah, because it's an investment visa. It's it's like you are investing to the Philippines. So because with the SRRV, that's a special retirement visa. You have to have some kind of money coming in every month to sustain your retirement in the Philippines. The difference with SIRV, it's an investment. You are investing to the Philippines. SRRV is a retirement visa. 9G is the investment visa. 9G, no. 9G is not an investment visa. Nine G is a working visa in the Philippines. It's a work visa. Foreigners that's working in the Philippines have to have 9G visa. 9G visa is different from SIRV visa. Any updates on the supposed threat announced by Japanese embassy? I heard that too, that there would be terroristic activity in the Philippines announced by Japanese embassy. I'm not sure if that's true, and I've also read that that's not really true. So, but that's not supposed to be taken as a joke, you know? God bless everyone. Thank you. So if you buy a $75 condo, you have it covered. That's another way to put it, but you really have to go through the requirements for SIRV for that.
And I don't think they really have any $75,000 condos in the Philippines.
Yeah, that's a lot. Daw ba? 75. Oh, you'll never know for high end condos.
You're looking at almost a $4 million or 4 million peso condo.
Oh, that's cheap for a 4 million condo. It really is cheap. That's 3.6 million pesos. That's actually not much for a condo. Condo units in Manila area could go up to 15 million, 10 million, especially if you are buying it from a high-end area like Makati and BGC, Bonifacio Global. They could go up to 10 million, my love. They tell you where to invest. Look at it and don't like it. Oh, okay. Oh, they choose where you should invest. SRRV has a special deal for military. Yep, I've Eaton. Definitely cheap. Average homes cost. Yep, it really is. 75 is actually cheap for a condo unit, especially in the Manila area. Yes, it is. You're right on that, gal. 75 bucks. 75,000 is actually cheap for a condominium unit. Wow, 10 million. It only cost me 10,000 USD to build my house down here in Sibuco. Because condominium unit is already built for you, it's already fully furnished for you. You all you gotta do is move in. So, and if you're building a house in a province, just a box type house, $10,000 would probably do it. But when you if you want all the amenities in there, fully furnished house, updated furnitures, updated, 75K is actually cheap. Yes, we're talking money now. We are talking money now. I wish we just have all that money in front of you, pick it up and buy. That would be nice. But unfortunately, it's not. We have to work hard for it. Yes, it's standard province style house, all concrete. Yep. 10 grand should do it. That's actually a nice looking house already. Night Fire for 500,000 pesos. Half a million house in the Philippines is actually a nice house already in province. Because it's cheaper to build a house in the province than in the city. Now, does that include the it's just is it just the house, or that includes buying the lot? Because if that doesn't include buying the lot, then how does philanthropy work in the Philippines from the US? That I don't know. Who you have to, if it's going to be freelance or hired by a company. No? Bev, philanthropist?
I'm not sure.
I'm not really sure on that, gal. It's either you will be hired by a company or you do freelance. Oh, freelance. More on freelance. I'm not sure how will that work over here, though.
Philanthropy is like what we do during Christmas.
Oh, okay. More on charity work.
Right.
Hmm. That's more on the missionary type visa thing, no?
Basically, yes.
Yeah. The house is on family land. Cool. So you did not really have to buy the land. You just have to build the house. That's really cool, Nightfire. 500,000 pesos worth of a house over here. The here is actually pretty already. I was like before, I like the two-story house, updated kitchen and stuff. I still want the updated kitchen, but because of earthquakes and stuff over here, we decided to just have it on the ground. No two stories, three stories anymore. And I would want just a simple house. As long as it's clean, spacious and everything. That was really bad. The spacious and everything, I'm good with it. I guess that will happen as you get older. You just want the simplest things in life, which is really fun. These conversations help relieve our minds of the travel stress. That's why we do the LDR discussion, Gal. It's like this is my morning show to answer questions. We also have an evening show with my husband. My husband will be joining me tonight and other uh subscribers. Now you would only see me on the monitor. Tonight you would see 7, 8 people in the monitor chit-chatting, just updating each other, just to leave the stress from, travel restrictions. So join us tonight, Gal, if you have time. It's 8 o'clock Philippine time. They told me that even though I am a resident, I still can't own a land. Really? Are you married to a Filipina, Nightfire? Or
He's correct. He can't. He
can only own
50, 49%,
49%? Your wife will own 51%.
but he can inherit.
If something happens to your wife, you can actually inherit that. If you buy a condo in the city, it's really quite expensive, but probably it would go down to the province. 75 could be enough. If you build a house worth $75,000 in a province, you will have a mansion. That could be a mansion house for that kind of money. What is LDR? Long distance relationship, LDR. But you don't have to be in a long distance relationship to join the show. We have other subscribers just join the show for the fun. It's really cool. Share ideas if you know something and stuff. We share it with everybody. Yes. Yep. If you're married to a Filipina, 49% you own your ownership is 49%. The Filipina has 51%. She has to have more ownership to a property. I think that's the rule.
Yes.
Ma'am, ask ko lang po, pag natanggap na ang RT-PCR test result, ipasa ko ba sa BOQ or wait na lang sila ang magpasa? Ryan, when you receive your RT-PCR test result, contact the front desk of the hotel. I-contact mo yung front desk ng hotel, Ryan, kasi tutulungan ka nila for your BOQ certificate. They said you have to be a Philippine citizen. Oh, who said that? You are married to a Filipino national, plus you are a resident of the Philippines. What more they would ask for? Because if an American becomes a Philippine citizen, you will lose your US citizenship.
Yes.
USA doesn't do dual citizenship like the Philippines does. So if you give up your US citizenship to become a Philippine citizen, you will not get your US citizen back. So if you are getting some kind of benefit from the US government, you will lose that if you become a Philippine citizen. Like I said, the US doesn't do dual citizenship like the Philippines does. So if you really want to be a Philippine citizen and willing to give up your US citizenship, you have to weigh in those. You have to weigh in those By the way, sorry if my Uncle Duterte is causing stress and confusion to all. Oh, so you're related to the president, Gal, huh? Tell your uncle to loosen up a little bit. You know? If I see him at a reunion, I'll slap him with my slippers. Lots of laugh. That's funny. For charity work, best to find one close to your cause that you trust or maybe might not make it to your target. That's definitely true. I agree to that.
That's why we do our charity work.
When we do our charity work over here, Howard, we do it on our own. I do the research. I scout the area. I talk to the in charge and stuff before we do our charity. Haha, yes, Mrs. Eaton, you're right. The older we get, we don't extravagant. Yeah, it's like before when I was young, I love gadgets. I still love my gadgets, but not as much anymore like I used to. And like I said, the simplest things in life is the way to go. It's like I don't want any complications. I don't like complicated, you know. That's like I just want a simple life. It's like I'm happy and content with what I have right now. Thank you from Ryan. You're very welcome, Ryan. But with philanthropy, I need some kind of permission from the city.
No.
Actually, no. You can just go direct to, for example, you're doing it on a orphanage. Just like what we do when we do that. If we pick a particular orphanage, I go to that orphanage, talk to the in charge of the orphanage that we are going to be doing this and that. You don't need to ask permission from the city. We didn't. The family said my wife would have to buy the land in her name. Oh, okay. So the land is owned by her family. Unless the land is, unless she inherit the land and the land title will be transferred to her name, then you won't own it. You said it's a family land. So it's probably owned by mommy and daddy still, right?
Probably.
Until she inherits that land, then it's not yours. The house is yours. But here in the Philippines, whatever is built on that property that's not yours, that's theirs. So that's how a lot of foreigners get screwed. Lots of love. Yep, that's true. You can buy a condo under your name. Yep. Foreigners can actually buy a condominium unit over here under their name. So, do we have more questions? Our 2 hours is up. Yep. It's like sometimes when the show is about to end, you know, that's when we get all the discussions and stuff. We'll have so much fun. But I will see you guys tonight on LDR discussion when you guys got time to join. Like I said, you don't have to be in a long distance relationship to join that show. Everybody is welcome. Let's have fun, share our tips, share our knowledge. If you are a constant traveler, that's really awesome. You can share tips on what your experiences are, if there's a particular rule of a particular country and stuff. Let's share it. I'm inviting everybody for LDR tonight. That's 8 o'clock evening Philippine time. That's 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 a.m. Central Standard Time, and 5 a.m. Pacific Time. Howard is Mountain Time?
6. Yep.
6 o'clock in the morning Mountain Time. So don't worry if you come in late because our show usually lasts for 6 hours. So if you come late, you come lunchtime, your time, we should still probably be on. So, like I said, our show goes for 6 hours. For Australia, Grant is from Australia. It usually starts at what? 10 o'clock, Grant? Was it 10 o'clock your time, Grant, when we start? Love from Arizona. Hey, hey. Thank you so much, Gal Roa. Take care, Eaton Squad. Maraming salamat, Ellen. So it's a wrap for our answering questions with regards to travel updates, immigration updates, and all. Enjoy the rest of the day. Thank you so much. So it's today is our rest day, but I already have a lot of work lined up, and also taking a short nap or probably an hour nap is part of the things that I need to do today. So I will be ready for our show tonight. So blessed Sunday to all. Maraming salamat, Ellen. Yup, 10 p.m. for Grant. 10 p.m. Yeah, Grant usually. Because Grant is in Australia. Grant is 2 hours ahead Philippine time. And he's always there for that 6 hour show. And I'm very thankful for that, for all the support from my LDR family. Napping is important. Yes, it is. I do take a nap. I always do my social security nap. But I thank you all so much for joining me today. Maraming salamat. Thank you guys for asking those questions. And I'm hoping I was able to answer them for you. And if you guys have any inquiries or you have urgency when it comes to your inquiry, please don't hesitate to message me on our Facebook page and Instagram, same handle, the Eaton Squad. I will reply as soon as I can. Sometimes I get busy, but when I get to it, I will reply right away. So, I thank you all for joining me. Maraming salamat. Take care, everyone. I will see you guys tonight on LDR discussion. God bless everyone. Happy weekend. Maraming salamat. Bye. Love you all. Mwah.